Hey guys, it's Alisa, and I'm back after I think about a week or two of not making any videos, so I just want to say hello. I'm very sorry for not getting around to all the requests right now. I do have a line waiting, so if you haven't heard a response from me or if you haven't gotten a video, I'm gonna do it, but like I said, I'm on vacation right now, and I actually just got back from Paris yesterday. And it's hard to explain, like my friend and I, we went to Paris for a week, and then we went to Mallorca, Spain for 4 days. So if I look kind of tan, it's because I've been doing nothing but laying on a beach, and it's been wonderful. But I'm finally back in Germany, and I only have Wi-Fi when I'm here in this house. So every time I come home to this house, I always get like all my video requests, and I do have about 6 right now, or 5 or 6 waiting for me. So I'm just gonna do them in order of how I receive them. This is an email that I got, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to answer it, and hopefully I can help you, but I did already read it, and it is kind of a tricky subject, but I'm just going to kind of give like my point of view, and maybe it can help you see things from a clearer perspective. So, it says, no, hi Alisa. It just says, your videos have been getting me through a rough couple of months after my ex of 1 year and I broke up. I don't want to go into too many details, but basically it's been a long time and I'm still nowhere over my ex. I want to know signs of true love or signs that it's meant to be with someone, because I'm not sure if I'm meant to be with my ex or if I'm just being stupid and not moving on for whatever reason. How can you tell which case it is? Thanks, and greetings from North Carolina. Oh, hey, we're state neighbors. I'm South Carolina. But, alright, really good question. And this is something that everyone goes through after any breakup. You know, obviously, everyone always has a hard time moving on after the first couple weeks or months. But then sometimes when that moving on process elongates and it prolongs itself over a longer duration of time than what is normally expected, we do start to ask ourselves, is it meant to be, or is it just a personal problem? Like, am I having a hard time, like, moving on? Like, is it something that's, like, chemically not working in my brain, or am I actually supposed to be with this person? Now, there's no factual answer for this. There's not. Like, there's nothing that I can say, like, one sentence, like, oh, it's this. Like, it's not, like, A or B. It's not multiple choice. Like, there's a bunch of factors you need to look into. But I'm just going to answer the part where you said, how can you tell which case it is? You can't tell. Only time can tell. And that's the corniest thing ever. But honestly, time does hold all answers, whether you like the answers or not. So, like I said, this is something that everyone begins to ask themselves, like, am I over my, or why am I not getting over my ex? Is it because I'm meant to be, or because I'm just having a hard time? You need to look at what you've been doing in the spare time. If you've been genuinely trying to move on, like wholeheartedly trying to get out there and move on, and just like, you know, you've been dating new people, seeing new people, maybe like hooking up with new people, like you've honestly made it your mission to get over your ex, and like you're fine, like, you know, you feel good, you're having a blast, you made maybe a bunch of new friends, you guys are going to parties, you're probably getting like a lot of attention from the opposite sex. Like, if you're really putting yourself out there and you're living it up, you really are. But at the end of the day, after a long period of time in the breakup, you're still thinking about your ex. You're still, you know, reminiscing on the good times. That doesn't mean that y'all are meant to be together. Okay, let me just say this. There's no sign that it's meant to be. Ever. There's never going to be a sign that it's meant to be with someone. Never. There are signs that, you know, you might miss them or you miss the attention, but nothing is ever going to happen where you say, oh, we're meant to be. Like, no, that's impossible for anybody. Like, there's signs of convenience and there's signs of, like, reminiscing and maybe nostalgia, but there's never a sign that says, oh, him and I, or her and I are meant to be together. Sorry. But like I was saying, you know, it's been a long time, you've been like doing really good, but then at the end of every single night you lay your head down and your mind drifts back to that person. I'm not going to say that's who you're meant to be with, because maybe you just haven't found the right person yet. You know, it's so easy to say, oh, I can't stop thinking about Tiffany, so clearly I'm meant to be with Tiffany. No, you're not meant to be with Tiffany, you just haven't met your soulmate, aka Rebecca, yet. Like, you're gonna meet Rebecca eventually, but until you do, you're gonna keep believing that Tiffany is your soulmate. However, there also is an equal chance that it is who was the original one? Tiffany. There is an equal chance that Tiffany is your soulmate. You never know if you're just on the way of meeting your soulmate and you're just missing your ex, or you or if you're actually meant to be with your ex. Like, you never know which one it is. And like I just said, there's never going to be a sign that tells you, oh, Tiffany is my soulmate. Like, you're never going to know. There's going to be things maybe that happen where you're like, oh yeah, we're meant to be together, but it's never going to be like a definite fact. Like, boom, that shooting star just like flew over my head, we're meant to be. Like, I don't think stuff like that really happens. I think a lot of things are just coincidental. But I'm also a very realistic person. I'm not like a romantic person at all. Like, I'm very like, when it comes to like candlelit dinners, yeah, I like that stuff. And like flowers, like holding the door open for me, like, yeah, of course, I love all that stuff. But when it comes to like the whole like mystic, woo, meant to be together, blah, 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 I don't believe in any of that. So you never know if you're meant to be with someone or not. But time will tell you, because it's who you end up with in the end. You know, if you're, okay, here's a better way to put it. If you're constantly, if you've been trying to move on, but you still see yourself, or you still find yourself thinking about this person, or like comparing everyone to your ex because you honestly miss your ex. Not the time, or not the label, or not the attention, or not the sex, like, but the actual person. There's a difference between missing the relationship and missing the person. If you miss the person, if this person contributed a lot to your life, if this person really changed your outlook or made you a happier, more genuine person, like if they really sharpened, your values as a human, if they really contributed so much to your life, more than just a title, more than just attention, more than gifts or sex, or like, what's it called, like, just like media attention, if y'all post a lot online, like if you, like, aside from all that, miss the actual person, I'm not gonna say y'all are meant to be together, but that is a sign that that probably is the right person for you, because it's so hard to fall in love, if you haven't noticed. It's so hard to find someone that you really are compatible with. It's so hard to find someone that you really click with and naturally are happy with. And so when we throw that away and we go looking on the other side of the fence to see if the grass is greener, we often come to find that what we had was the best that it's gonna get. And it's either because we're meant to be with that person, or because there's another yard out there with even greener grass, but we're just too impatient to wait for it. So you have to make the decision. Are you going to get back your ex, or are you going to risk it and wait for what's to come? Because maybe what's to come is your ex. You never know. But I do not believe that if it's meant to be, your ex will come back. I don't believe that. I believe that it's our actions that dictate it. So if you want your ex back, you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to be the one to make the move. You're going to have to be the one to speak up or to step up. I don't think that fate will just drop this person in your life like those the little, what's it called, a crane, with those birds that carry the babies, like in all those animations, and they just like drop the babies in the front yard. Like, I don't believe that kind of stuff happens. Like, you have to make the effort and the choice to get someone back if that's what you want. It's not just gonna happen automatically for you. So okay, that was like part one of the video. Part two, this person is not meant for you if you find yourself missing the materialistic things, or the label, or the sex, or the attention, or the relationship. Like, you need to miss the person. But if it's anything but the person you miss, if you just miss the publicity, or you miss saying, I have a boyfriend, or I have a girlfriend, like if you miss that stuff, the stuff that can easily be emulated or recreated in another person, then you're not meant to be with them. You're just missing the relationship. There's really no signs of true love, though. That's what you're asking me. Like, there are signs that, like, maybe you guys, I don't know how to word this, because I could list traits of true love and you could say, oh, me and my ex had every single one. Well, then why are you and your ex not together? Like, there's always like a conflict in between, like, well, true love, like, who knows what true love is? Like, I thought I was truly in love, but I lost my relationship, so is it still true love if I lost it, but it was out of my control? So it's one of those things, like, you never know. But I guess I can name some of the things that I think true love is. If you, despite anything, despite location, despite time, despite distance, despite other people, other schools, like any other factor, despite any of that shit that gets in between you, you still want this person, and you still want to love this person with everything you have. That could be a sign of true love. It could also be a sign of lust, but depending on the circumstances, it is a sign of true love. If no matter what happens, this is the person that you want. This is the person that you need, no matter what happens. And I literally mean no matter. Like, no matter if you move across the ocean, or if you're like 6 hours ahead, like a time zone, or if you go to different colleges, or live in different states, or speak different language. You know, if you can find a common like ground with a language barrier, no matter what, you still want this person, and you still want to love this person. And it's not just because they're the only person that's willing to offer you a relationship. It's because out of all the people who might be willing to offer you something, they are the ones that you choose deliberately, because they are the ones that make your heart happy and your soul happy. I promise, when you fall in love, you feel it in your heart. It's not just like a mental like brainwash, like, oh, I'm so in love. Like, no, you literally feel a shift in your heart. Like, it changes everything about you. Like, it's literally like taking a new medicine for the first time. Like, you feel it everywhere. Like, you feel it in your mood, you feel it in the way you act, you feel it in the way you talk, in the way you walk, in the way you carry yourself. Like, you just, when you're in love, it changes everything. And once you lose it, let's say if it's out of your control. I'm busy.
What?
I'm helping a person right now.
Wolltest du nicht in die Dusche?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Oh my god, my mom. But, God, this is where ADHD really sucks. I'm just gonna... Oh. Yeah, so, like, if it's the right person, you're never gonna want to be without them. But if for some reason you were given the choice, not given the choice, you were without your consent given the choice to live without them, let's say if they broke up with you, you will find a way to be okay without them, not because you don't love them, but because you love yourself. And, you know, if you truly love someone, you accept the fact that you need to love yourself first. You know, I know a girl and a boy, and they've been dating for about a year. This girl is so obsessed with her boyfriend, she spends no time on herself. She literally never is alone. She always is with him. She doesn't take care of herself. Like, she let her body go. Like, she doesn't exercise all the time like she used to anymore. She let her grades slip because she's always with him. Like, she doesn't love herself as much as she should because she's too busy loving him. But if you truly love someone, you admit the fact that you need to love yourself just as much, if not more, than you love the person that you're with. So, signs of true love, you love yourself just as much, if not more. Another sign of true love, I guess, like true love, whatever that may be, this is like the only way I know how to explain it. Being truly in love feels like you're at home. You're in a house that you've never been in before. You know, you're setting up camp, you're setting up shop in a place that you've never been to or never experienced, but somehow you feel at home. And I remember when I met my ex-boyfriend, you know, I fell in love with him, obviously. And when I met him and I realized I loved him, it literally felt like I had just walked inside of a home that I've never been in. Like, it's the most comforting feeling. Like, you feel like someone finally understands you. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, every single part of you, even the parts that you don't really see, like the parts that aren't really illuminated, like the traits about you that you don't really, like, show, they bring those traits out in you, and they teach you to love them. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm a really creative person. Like, I just, obviously you can tell with all the metaphors that I use, or like I love to paint and draw, and I'm really good at like playing things on instruments just by ear. I don't use notes or chords, I just do things by ear, or like, you name it. Like, I was a film major for a long time. I'm really creative, but I never really like acknowledged it. I just kind of like let it flow naturally. But my ex really showed me how creative I was by, we would always do things together, and he would always say, wow, your mind really like baffles me, like the way you think. And I never realized it, but I really do have a very different thought process than most of my friends. So that was something that I didn't know about myself that he really illuminated in me. And it's that, along with a million other traits. Like, there's going to be so many things that you find out about yourself just by loving someone else, and it's the most amazing thing. And I don't know, love is very altruistic. Altruistic means putting another person before yourself, you know, putting everything before yourself. And, you know, when you're in love with someone, all you want to do is make them happy. That's literally it. Like, if it means walking on hot coals or laying on a bed of thorns, you'll do it. If it means putting a smile on their face, but hopefully they won't be smiling at that, because that would really hurt. So you're asking me, you're still nowhere over your ex. You want to know signs of true love if you're meant to be with them. So like I said, there's no diagnostic test that you can take to determine if, you're meant to be with them. All you can do is just wait and see. But just remember that it's not going to be the universe or the clouds or anything that brings all back together. It's going to be your choices. But however, your feelings will dictate your choices. If you feel in your heart that you guys are meant to be together, if all the signs keep pointing back at this person, if your heart keeps drifting back to this person, even if you're dating new people, even if you're seeing new people, even if you're making new friends or going on new trips, new adventures, new everything, like even if you're inundated in this new lifestyle, but your mind still goes back to them, listen to the signs. Like, these signs are there for a reason. And that is something that I do believe. Like, God does put signs in your life that you need to follow sometimes, whether it's someone bringing up a comment and it really changes your outlook on things, or if someone, if you just like have this feeling in your heart, maybe I should do this. I promise you, it's God telling you, go do it. Unless it's something bad, then like I said in another video, that's not God, that's the devil. But if you feel something in your heart, if you're tempted to reach out to her or him, whoever, I don't even know what gender you are because you didn't say anything in here. If you're tempted to reach out to your ex, if you're tempted to reconcile, if you're tempted to say, hey, I want to talk, can we talk? Like, if you're tempted to do any of this and you're ignoring it, I promise you that's exactly how people end up unhappy. By not listening to their heart, by not following their instinct, by ignoring God. Like, that's exactly how people end up having divorces or regret or just depression. Like, if you don't listen to those nudges that God gives you, because I promise you, he only has good intentions for you. He has your best interest at heart. And if you just listen to him, sometimes you have to listen so closely, but I promise you, eventually you will hear what he wants you to hear, and he will tell you exactly what to do. And if you have the courage to do it, it's called trusting God. Have you ever heard of faith? If you have faith in God and if you follow whatever urge he's giving you, there's no way you'll be able to end up unhappy, because he only has your best interest at heart. God has given us free will. He is giving us the decision to do whatever we want to do, but he will give you a hint. You can either choose to abide by that hint and take the risk and be very happy at the end, or you can choose to have a better plan for yourself. You can say, okay, I'm just going to play the role of God for a minute and decide what's best for me and ignore him, or not listen to the signs, or not follow your heart, and then you're going to end up very unhappy because you didn't trust in the bigger man above. So just listen to your heart, listen to that urge, because I promise you that's the only way you're going to know if it's true love. Time and really listening, whether it's through prayer, through meditation, through whatever spiritual contemplation that you do, there is an answer out there, and it is up to you to find it, because it will not fall into your lap unless you're accepting of it. You don't hear things unless you listen for them. You won't hear God unless you listen for him. You won't receive anything unless your hands are open. You need to just open up your heart and say, okay, there's something coming for me, whether it's an answer, whether it's a new direction, a new path, whether it's the realization that I'm meant to be with this person, or the realization that I'm not, that I'm gonna find better. You will discover it, but you won't discover it under your own accord. You can't choose when to get the answers. You can't. All you can choose is how or when you are going to start to listen for them. So I know this is a very psychedelic video, but it's the truth. There are answers out there, and you can't force yourself to have them instantly. They do require patience and time, but all I can say is, if you really feel like you're supposed to be with a person, what is stopping you? If it's fear, what do you have to lose? Ask yourself, what do I have to lose? I remember after my ex and I broke up, obviously it was a very, very devastating breakup. I wrote him a letter, and I was contemplating on whether or not I should send it, but I asked myself, what do I have to lose? I already lost him. What else can I lose? Literally nothing. So ask yourself, what can you lose? And even if you do have things to lose, at least you will go to bed with that weight off your shoulders. You will say, it won't be any more what if, or oh, I should have done this. No, it'll be, okay, I tried and I failed, but I used the free will that God gave me to make the decision that I made, and now I'm on the right path. Okay, this is something that is kind of hard to explain. There is a path. Let's say there's a million paths to your destination. This is where you are now. This is your destination. Let's say God's path is right here. It's not that straight in real life. It's just hard to If I had a whiteboard, it'd be a lot easier. And then there's your path that you can take. There's a path that your friends are telling you. There's a path that your parents are telling you. There's a path that your church is telling you. There's a million paths that you can take to get to your goal. And it'll be a different goal depending on what path you take. And I promise you, God is going to give you these nudges along the way, these little hints. And if you follow each and every hint and listen to Him, you will end up at your goal. But however, if you go through these other paths and you don't really listen to what He has to say, you're going to end up where you're not supposed to, because you used the free will that He gave you to make your own decisions rather than listening to Him. Like He gave us free will, that way we can make our own decisions. Yeah, people say like, yeah, God already has it all figured out for us, like He already has it all written down. That's true. However, we are still humans. We still have a right to make decisions, and that's why He gave us that free will. He gave us, He gave you the feeling that maybe you want your ex back, or that you have this regret or this what if. And He's also giving you the opportunity to go after it. So if you ignore it, you're straying off of His path and going on someone else's path, on your own path. Your path is wrong. Your path is wrong. I promise. Your path will never be anywhere nearly as great as the path that God has for you. But if you say, look, I have a lot of feeling in my heart that I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe I should reach out to this person. Maybe I should talk to them and see, where my heart's at with them, or let them know that I still love them, or that I still miss them. So I'm gonna use this free will, and I'm gonna contact them. Guess what? That's God's path, and it will end you up exactly where you're supposed to be, as long as you are brave enough and patient enough and silent enough to listen. And when I say silent, I physically mean silent. Sometimes you need to sit in a quiet place and just think. Sometimes you need to read a Bible or explore. I've been exploring Europe my whole entire summer, and I've realized a lot. Not just about myself, but about my past, about my future. It's really getting out there and seeing new things that makes you realize what it is that you want. And sometimes it's the person that you just spent a very long time with, or sometimes it's, yeah, it was fun with them, but I'm totally willing to try new things with new people. You're gonna realize what you need to do, but it will take some time. And just don't question it as much as you are. You can't question it. That makes it no fun, because I promise you, if you question your whole entire every step of life, and then all of a sudden you get to your end goal, it's gonna be that's it. But if you kind of let it go with the flow, you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be, and you're gonna be whoa, look at all these things that happened. So definitely open up your heart, open up your mind, follow the signs. If you feel like you're meant to be with someone, maybe you are, but just make sure that you're missing them for the right reason, because of the person that they were, the person that they made you to be, what they contributed to you, what you contributed to them. Because sometimes, we're addicted to being loved, but if it's the right person, you will become addicted to giving love. So just look at what it is that you're missing, and if it's genuine, if your intentions are pure, if you really just genuinely want to be happy, and you want them to be happy, and you think that you guys can both reach this ultimate happiness with each other, maybe that is the person meant for you. But you have to listen to your gut if you have that feeling. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the wrong person, and it's going to be a disaster, and your whole life is going to be nothing but, I should have done this, or what if this, or damn it, I should have blah 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 blah. You're going to have regrets if you don't follow the urge, because I promise you, the urges are there for a reason. It's called your subconscious mind. It's there for a reason, and it talks for you when you don't know what to do. So listen to it. It's there for a reason. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm sorry it wasn't a very direct answer, but it was the best that I could do. Just pray if you are spiritual or religious, but if you're not, you can just always do meditation or other things, and eventually you will find peace, and you will determine what you need to do with time and with experiences and with wisdom. As you go through life, you gain more knowledge of the world and the way the world works, and with all that knowledge and wisdom, you will realize what it is that you want, and whether or not it's your ex or if it's a new person, you will know. But it will only happen if you pursue it, if you choose to pursue it, because feeling like you want to pursue it and actually pursuing it are two different things, or two different paths. But God has chosen one of those paths, so choose it. anyways, I'm like blabbing at this point, so thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to make my day better, tell me that my hair is growing because it's getting long again. Oh my god. Alright, so thank you so much, and once again, if you want to contact me, my stuff is down below, but it will be a while till I get to you because I am in Europe for about 3 more weeks. So, bye guys.